morning. I am here. Let's get my lip moisturized. You guys know, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't remember until I see the camera. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to First Light. Good morning and welcome to First Light. Let's start this beautiful morning. Today, I want to talk about independence. And when you see me looking down from the camera, it's because I have my notes, my pointers that I want to touch. But good morning. Today, our topic is reflections on independence. Reflections on independence. And I want to make sure I can see your comments. So just give me 1 minute. Okay, there we go. Reflections on independence. Reflection on independence. That's our topic. I want to make sure that we are live on all the platforms as we continue. Reflection on independence. That is our topic for this morning. So today I want to talk about independence, not the version we post about, not the version we celebrate, the real version. Independence is usually praised as strength, as growth, as proof that we made it. But there is a quieter question we almost never ask. What did independence cost you? What did independence cost you? Because for many people, independence was not chosen, it was required. For many people, independence was not chosen, it was required. Guys, I need my heater. I am cold. For many people, independence was not chosen, it was required. It came after disappointment. It came after abandonment. After having to grow up too fast. After realizing help was not coming. So the mind adapts. I will rely on myself. Depending on people hurts. Needing is risky. And at first, that decision saves you. But over time, protection can turn into isolation. Over time, protection can turn into isolation. And we go deeply into this by saying this conversation is not about undoing strength, it is about understanding strength. But let us talk into my subtopic of how independence is born. How is independence born? How is independence born? How is independence born? As you come in, let me know. How do you think independence is born? Most people do not become independent because they are brave. Most people do not become independent because they are brave. They become independent because they are tired. Tired of asking. Tired of explaining. Tired of hoping this time will be different. Independence often begins as a strategy. When the environment is unstable, the nervous system adjusts. It says, I will be my own safety net. This happens early for some people. Children who had to self regulate, teenagers who became emotional adults too soon, adults who carried households alone. Independence becomes your identity. I'm going to say that again. Independence becomes your identity. And when independence becomes your identity, vulnerability starts to feel unsafe. Not because you do not want connection, but because connection once disappointed you. And let's identify and dissect independence versus isolation. Independence versus isolation. There's a difference between being self sufficient and being isolated. Self sufficiency says, I can stand on my own. Isolation says, I must stand alone. They look similar from the outside. Independent people often appear calm, capable, and composed. They do not ask for much. They do not fall apart publicly. They do not announce their needs. But internally, isolation sounds like this: no one really knows me. I do not even know who I would call. I am surrounded but unseen. Loneliness does not always come from lack of people. It comes from lack of permission to be seen. Y'all hear that? Loneliness does not always come from lack of people. Loneliness also comes from lack of permission to be seen. And hardened independence quietly removes that permission. Strong people feel the loneliest. Strong people feels the loneliness or the loneliest. And some people might agree with this or some people might not agree with me, but I believe that strong people feel the loneliest. And here are my thoughts behind that. Here is the hard truth. The more capable you are, the less people check on you. The more capable you are, the less people check on you. High functioning people attract expectation, not care. High functioning people attract expectation, not care. People assume you are fine because you look fine, because you walk around and not complain. They assume you do not need support because you manage life well or you manage things well. But strength is output, not nourishment. And output without replenishment leads to depletion. Output without replenishment leads to depletion. Many strong people are lonely because they lack relationships. But because let me repeat that. Many people are lonely not because they lack relationships. They're not lonely because they don't have friends. They're not lonely because they don't have people in their life. They're lonely because no one asks them the questions they want to answer. They're lonely because no one answers the questions, or no one asks the questions they want to answer. How are you really carrying this? What part of this is heavy for you? Who holds you when you stop performing strength? Who holds you when you stop performing strength? Independence teaches others to keep their distance, not intentionally, but consistently. The emotional economy of self-reliance. Let's talk about the emotional economy of self-reliance. Every relationship runs on exchange, not transaction. Exchange. Care given, care received. When someone becomes hyper independent, they often stop receiving. Not because others are unwilling, but because receiving once came with strings. So so the other so they overgive, they overfunction, and they overcarry. This creates imbalance, and imbalance creates loneliness. Because people do not feel close to someone they cannot contribute to. Y'all, this morning, I hope when you guys come into the replay, you truly understand this message. People do not feel close to people they cannot contribute to. People wants to have that exchange, right? Connection requires participation, not performance. If you never allow others to matter to you, they eventually stop trying. And let's talk about choosing interdependence. Not independence, but choosing interdependence. The goal is not dependence. The goal is not isolation. The goal is interdependence. Interdependence is mature strength. It says, I can stand alone, but not have but do not have to. It says, I can stand alone, but do not have to. It says, I am capable and I am connected. Interdependence requires humility. It requires discernment. It requires risk. It begins with one quiet decision. I will not, I will let someone be present with me. It begins with one decision. I will let someone be present with me. Not everyone, not recklessly, but intentionally. And the last point I want to make about independence is religious and spiritual clothes. Religious and spiritual clothes, because in everything we do, there's a spiritual connection. right? And everything we do, there's a spiritual connection. Scripture never glorifies isolation. Scripture never glorifies isolation. From the beginning, the message was very clear. It is not good for man to be alone, not weak, not incapable, alone. From the beginning, it spoke about being alone. Even Jesus lived in community. He withdrew to pray, but he did not live detached. He ate with others. He walked with others. He wept in their presence. Strength in faith is not self containment, it is trust rightly placed. God did not design us to replace Him with self. God did not design us to replace Him with strength. I pray that as you come in this morning on the replay, you will let me know how this message blessed you. And I am looking forward to connecting with you in the comment section. Have a beautiful Monday, a momentous Monday. Have a good day, guys. See you tomorrow morning. Bye.